Can we see it? Can we see it now?
Strange. Can you see it? Okay, maybe I can do that without slides and we can share slides later. Huh? But let me check.
Professor Lalić, I can now see your slide. So no one,
okay.
I can see your slide.
Okay. Can you see my slides now?
Now we see it. It's society development fields.
Thank you very much. So I'm going to speed up because I stole some time. So the third pillar I was speaking about was a culture, where culture of big international companies became stronger than national culture. Maybe this outbreak will change that. And of course, technology that brought a very serious success in overcoming many challenges in this situation. But society demanding trends that we introduced are from 60s, when after Second World War we introduced mass production, through the 70s where we spoke about quality, 1880s with the diversity, 90s with the nobility, and today we need a kind of a functionality. We thought it's something that is not so important for us, but today we can understand that this functionality brought us a result because we didn't expect all those things what happened, and the functionality of different tools like Zoom and all other platforms brought us a chance to continue our work and to decrease economic consequences. What is the answer that we need to give? It's a quality. We have to check the quality of processes we did within the outbreak situation, and we're doing it right now because we tried to improvise many processes, but now we have to measure if it's working, then we can continue with that. Productivity, that we were faster to move to the home offices, but to keep a productivity of our work and effectiveness as well. Flexibility is something that actually helped us to go through this situation in all aspects we can do. What is also interesting, you saw these slides many times, but we learned one another thing. When we're speaking about Uber or Didi, the world's largest transport or taxi company owns no vehicles. Then Facebook, Alibaba, Airbnb, and so on. We can add here very interesting thing that we learned about pharmaceutical industry. In pharmaceutical industry, Novartis, the big pharmaceutical company, declared itself not as a pharmaceutical company anymore, but as a service provider, because all those companies added to the drugs different medical devices and software that is that has a role of personalized using drugs and all medicals provided by them. What is today, we're building innovation ecosystem, but within the innovation ecosystem, we have to check what's going on and what are the major trends in development of our society. So I will try to discuss just a bit the things that Bank of America found. If we understand that innovation is something that we need to use to educate global leaders, and we know that we have many leaders that has to be educated in innovation, and not only to be innovative but to survive. And we learned from our colleagues from Skoltech and the Chinese Academy of Sciences, what does it mean to foster innovation actually? And is there a unique recipe for success? Well, I don't think so. But the major thing is connection between government, university, and industry, which brought many significant results during the pandemic. And as we can see, national innovation ecosystems are something that is maybe answer for the situation after this pandemic situation. And this innovation ecosystem connects all the players, small one and big ones. In Serbia, we got a very, very interesting result. When we asked different industries, what do you need as a support to save the economy in their businesses? Many industries approached to the government asking for something, but ICT sector came to the government giving the solutions and providing some startup ideas how to survive and how to overcome through the different trends. Megatrends in 21st century, as we define them, we need to check what's going on nowadays. And I will skip this, going straight to the situation today. And here is something, according to the Bank of America, what they see as something you must know for the time after the coronavirus. The first thing is that there is impression that governments in the world just got bigger. Is it good? Maybe it is, because sometimes we witnessed in some countries that big international companies became stronger than the governments, stronger than the countries, and it's not good. This is something that brought back the states, the country, the government on the leading position. That's something that is, I think, not so bad trend in a future. What we also learned, you can see on the right side of this slide that around 30 countries in the world openly implemented tracking techniques on their citizens. I think there's nothing bad in that, especially when you're speaking about a way to provide health and to save people from pandemic. That's something that many people criticized, but if you can see here in Europe, most of Europe that was mostly oriented towards the privacy and some rights, those guys actually opened data of their citizens because that was the only way to start with the economy as soon as possible, to bring back industry on scene, because there was a tremendous problem in the economy while people are sitting in their homes. So they said, okay, we will decrease privacy, but we will increase safety on the workplace. And of course, when we're speaking about environmental, social, and governance field, the social matters started to be number one. Then, what is very interesting, in the middle of the slide, you can see with the number 8, what happened with the new generation. Actually, in the beginning of March this year, it happened that for the first time ever, Fortnite, the game, the video game, computer game, became more popular than football. What is very interesting, and we will check if this is going to be a trend in the future. Probably when we have back our soccer leagues all over the world, the football will become again more popular, but we'll see if this is something that will remain somehow. What are the top 100 fastest growing and declining categories in e-commerce? Because e-commerce is something that brought very, very strong impact on our lives nowadays. So as you can see, a lot of things that are providing protection of our health is increasing today. But also you see on the number 8 position, it's weight training, because people want to be in good shape after the pandemic. Then computer monitors as well. Then dog food, some trends that increased a lot in sales during the pandemic. But on the other hand, cameras decreased, that then all things of event and party supplies, but also online partying and all platforms for all online events increased their popularity. So this is something that is also interesting to find. Is it going to remain somehow? Because, you know, after pandemia, many people are telling us that nothing is going to be the same again. What is according to Bank of America, what did they say about world after COVID? They said that tech wars will continue about big data, AI, 5G, and so on and so on. Then safety over privacy, speaking about governments. Then social focus, as I said, new generation, people who are more fond of a computer and online solving things and working. And of course, geopolitics and globalization that we are witnessing in the time after Corona. So this is something that is very interesting. I found quite new. For example, here, you can see that Fed was buying more than $1 million per second during the peak of panic phase of the crisis. It must be something that will reflect in our near future. But also, there is very interesting fact that for the first time in history, China's outspending the US on R&D, in research and development. And we're witnessing also in Serbia that our ICT sector that is very strong is about to shift from outsourcing job to R&D job. Most of outsourcers are closing their businesses and R&D is increasing. I will skip these trends just to go to the kind of a final remarks. Are we ready for new challenge? As I mentioned, pharmaceutical companies want to be service providers. For medicine, they want to serve. And those solutions on outbreak, we are trying to do a research about resilience on supply chain automation, resilience on outbreak resilience, actually, because we understood that we need to check our readiness. And I will conclude with this. Our organizational readiness means the leadership, no matter is it a country leadership or a company leadership, must be followed by the very, very strong governance. Then we need the competencies to solve different sort of situations, either in a healthcare system or in ICT. And the third one is technology, because we learned that technology is quite close and all around us. So we don't have a problem with that. I think we need strong leadership followed with the strong governance, the system actually, and then competencies that we can also bring from all other parts of the world. I think this outbreak showed like a SWOT analysis, what are our weak sides, and the weak sides became more weaker, the strong sides became stronger, but the only one thing is still with us. And I will quote here our professor and the founder of Industrial Engineering School of Yugoslavia, who said, the society where the rate of learning is lower than the rate of change has no chance to survive. So we need to increase the rate of learning in order to overcome the changes that we are bringing, all the nature is bringing to us, in order to survive as a society. So thank you very much for this opportunity to share my thoughts with you. And of course, sorry for the slides on the beginning of the presentation.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Professor Lalić. Now, it's the moment for question and answers. During the moment of the speech delivered by the speakers, my colleague and I are collecting the questions raised by the audience. And the question, we found some very interesting questions. Please allow me to raise some questions for the audience to the speakers. And the first question is raised by Ma Kerui. She comes from China, and she raised the question. The question she raised is nowadays it's quite difficult to get investment, but the question is, how can we get the business investor or venture capital? What kind of thing they prefer, or what kind of thing they like to avoid? In other words, what kind of thing a startup or entrepreneur must pay attention in front of the roadshow or pitch, in front of the venture capital? Now,
I can start with answering that question if you allow me.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. First of all, I would say that worldwide there is a lot of money available. In fact, when you see how the stock markets have reacted on the COVID-19 crisis, in many cases they're almost now back to the level of where they were in January or February 2020. Of course, some companies have been